Shalom, Israel. Shalom. We'll start by saying, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Call Halal Yumla, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Wahakodas. Double honors to the elders who speak this truth in sincerity, who rule well. Double honors to the Akim and the Akwat who speak this truth in sincerity. Kwam Yasharala. Shalom, Israel. This is part 2 of Seminole Indian tribe of Reuben. And I want to do more stories on the other tribes, but since this is my tribe, I thought I would go ahead and start them off first. And, instead of spirit, Reuben is the oldest. So let's begin. Now, my family, is from Cokesbury, North Carolina, which is the Gullah Geechee tribe. And the Gullahs and the Geechee tribe are also associated with, let me see, I have to go to some of my notes, are the Yamazi and the Wasama and the Gwale. And those particular tribes originated in the state of Florida. And then they broke off into Louisiana, Florida. They stayed in Florida, Tennessee. Let me see, the Carolinas, Georgia, if I didn't already say that. So Georgia, Tennessee, the Carolinas. You might have had some in Virginia, but the main places were Florida, Louisiana, and that once upon a time, that state was, before it got divided, that state was, Florida was all connected through the Carolinas, which was all Carolina, like the Carolinas. You understand what I'm saying? So it was all one body, and then eventually it got broken up as the colonists took over. Okay, so if you're from Georgia, I don't care what state you're from or where you live in now. If you're from Georgia, Florida, South, North Carolina, Tennessee, Oklahoma, because they also remember the Trail of Tears. And from Oklahoma, more than likely you are a native indigenous. You are a black Seminole Indian. And we were pushed out of Florida into these places, chased off by the earlier colonists back in that time. And by starting with Thomas Jefferson and his reign, and then you got Andrew, Andrew Jackson, you know what I mean, early in that time, that who was General Andrew Jackson before he was president, and they pushed those they pushed them out of those states into those states. Now let me see, and let's start by the meaning of Seminole. Seminole means runaway. You mean or wild one. So you have, and they were a wild bunch, a wild tribe with no fear. They weren't scared to go into it, to get into it with you. They weren't scared to battle. This was a strong nation, a strong people. Blessed by the Most High Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. You know what I mean? And collectively, they were a strong tribe. And like I also want to input that the Gwale, the Wasama, the Yamzi, and the Gullah, they were collectively one tribe. They were one Seminole tribe before the leaders of the tribe had broken off into different sects. And like I said, I'm Gullah Geechee Seminole, from the South Carolinas. Right now I reside in California, but my grandparents and my great grandparents, they were from the South Carolinas, and my father, was born in Chicago. They migrated to Chicago, what I'm saying? But I still have family out there in South Carolina. I grew up and born and raised in Los Angeles, California. You know what I mean? And those later times, the early colonists called Seminoles Creole or Afro, all the way to Black Seminole. They kind of went through their proverb, their byword at one time, but they never lost that tag Seminole, which was given to them from coloners, but it was distinctly to identify who we are for nowadays through the will and the power and will of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. All right, let's go. Let me see. And they labeled us Afro or because, which is short for African, because we were darker, and ultimately we were mistaken for Judah from time to time, but we had different shades of brown. It's just that they were just who they are. They were stubborn, evil colonists who and even our own people, because we were slaved by our own people. The sharecroppers and a lot of the freemen were also slave owners of a lot of our own tribe. You know what I'm saying? So they worked, but they worked for their father, the devil. They were a shepherd for the devil. And that was just in their lot to do, which is a sad thing, but that's what happened. A lot of which a lot of people don't tell you, and they won't tell you in these history books, that black people had slaves also. You know what I mean? They did, and those are wicked Israelites right there. But I also want to put in a tidbit that the Judah also fought in the wars, the Seminole Wars of the 1800s with them. Now, they weren't as millions like they say, especially early on in between 14 and 1800. They was very minute because, for one, you can't carry 1 million motherfuckers in one boat, and you can't carry 1 million Judites in 5 boats, 6, 7, however many, the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. You can't carry 1 million motherfuckers in those boats. So we know that there were people already here in the Americas, which were Gad and Reuben, the native and Seminole Indians. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of the colonizers were Latin, because Esau was, a fugitive on the run, so he used different identities. He called himself Latin, you know what I mean? But most of the Christians were Latin, and they called the coloners. They called black Indians. They called us black Indians, but we were more of a different shades of brown. We weren't black, And Indian means savage, so they were calling us black savages, negro or negro. That's what negro means in Latin. It means black. So they call us black savages when they were the savages, because they killed you and put fear in you. They attacked the spirit. They put they used dogs to maul babies and to and rip babies apart, and to rip elder chiefsmen apart. You know what I'm saying? In front of their tribe, to strike fear in them, because when they came to colonize, either you were going to convert, or you were going to get mauled and destroyed, or hung, or decapitated. So they fear mongered. They used fear tactics to convert a lot of Seminoles tapped out. Because they went to push the Christianity. They went to these colonizers. Their job was to push their doctrine on the Seminoles, and they rejected it. They denied it. They denied Jesus. Like, Jesus who? So they forced it on them. You understand what I'm saying? Because we denied it. We rejected it. And other nations were along with them. You had the Moors, The Moors were with them, and the Moors were Muslims, you know, which was Ishmael. You know, you had a lot of who got converted. You know, a lot of them before they became Christian, they were Muslim. You know, but a lot of them got converted. You know what I mean? So many nations, you had, a lot of nations were with them and got converted. Salakia. You know, and a lot of those nations were weak because they weren't dealing with the Most High power. They weren't dealing with Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And that, if you wasn't dealing with the one true God of Israel, you were vulnerable. You were weak. And eventually you got converted, enslaved and converted. And this Christianized period was between the 1940s and the 1490s, early 1400s. Between the late 1400s is when they came in, starting to try to destroy the native Seminole Indians and tried to break down their heritage. But we were a strong people and a large nation of many. That's why we broke up into different sects, like I named, because there were so many. You have guys like Walter Plecker who came in and started, tried to manipulate them into, and taking their land, with false documents, and that's when they started pushing the natives out of their land, by stealing it from them, and then it got to a point where, and it all started off with, we can also begin with Americus Vespucci, who was, and Christopher Columbus or Cristobal Colon, who came over here with Hebrews, who came over here with Moors for one thing and one purpose only, and that was just to take over the nation. That was just purely to come over here and convert these natives. And if they weren't going to convert, they were going to die. And we put up a fight because we killed a lot of Christians. And you'll see in a lot of texts and a lot of books. And if you look at my first part 1, you'll see pictures of a lot of war, a lot of soldiers, or drawings of people. If I put it in, I might not have put it in, but between the 1440s and 1490s, there were a lot of fights between Latin Christian colonizers and the Seminole Indians, and we were strong, killed many of them. And the spirit really didn't come over, Edom until Andrew Jackson came into power, and General Andrew Jackson, and we still put up a fight. We still, were killing them by the droves. We were guerrilla warfare. We would hide and creep through the thickets, through woods, through the forest, and literally kill these dudes in their sleep. Man, woman, a child, you had to go because a child will grow up to be one. But they started giving, a lot of our people started dying from disease. They started putting, diseases were on them. And then some just gave in to Christianity. They were weak in the spirit, and just gave in. They didn't want to die. But the majority were dying because they knew the true power, and the true power was Yahweh. That's what they used to, when they go, Yahweh, that they were talking to Yahweh. When they war danced, they were calling Yahweh the name. They knew the name. Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. You understand what I'm saying? And they all, and they fought hard. You know what I mean? They fought hard, but they just didn't. It wasn't, the spirit wasn't on them. It wasn't meant to happen. And we fought to very close victories. But ultimately, at the end, it just wasn't meant to be. I want to go to Genesis 49. I want to go into some scripture. Let me see. Let's go to Genesis 49. And it says, and Jacob called his sons and said, Gather together that I may tell you what shall befall of you in the last days. Gather together and hear you sons of Jacob, and listen to Israel your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength. The excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water, you shall not excel, because you went up to your father's bed and defiled it. And let me finish that verse. And he went up to my couch. So that's a lot of reason why Reuben didn't get the firstborn. That always gets the inheritance, but because of that, he was moved out the way, and it was given to Joseph and Ephraim. And ultimately Judah, who was the fourth born of Reuben. Was it Reuben, Levi, Simeon, and Judah? Well, no, not Levi, but Simeon, Judah, Benjamin, and Reuben. I think those were the four from Leah. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I got it. I think, but if I'm not mistaken, that was it. Simeon, Benjamin, Judah, and Simeon, Benjamin, Judah, and Reuben. But he got skipped because of that, and you're the oldest, so you're supposed to lead by example. But as the oldest and being anointed, he was the excellency of power and dignity. So he was very, upright. He was very strong and protective. And if you know that, the Reubenites were great warriors. Pertaining to Joshua. You know what I mean? So Reuben being the firstborn, he said, and my might being a mighty man. The beginning of my strength and excellency of dignity. Dignified. He was very, he had integrity. And excellency of power. He showed a true example of strength and power. Unstable as the waters, wild. That's why they're called the Seminole Indian, because they were wild as the water, unstable as water. Wild man. Let's get back to this. So, the U.S. government really got control in the 1800s, and they finally got control of the situation. They were led by Andrew Jackson, and with the curses that were put on us, we were able to kill a lot of soldiers, but but it just wasn't successful, and that was the Seminole Wars, and that didn't really end until about the 1870s. The Seminole Wars went on from early 1814, if I'm not mistaken, to the 1875. Don't quote me on that. But, they used treachery to kill us, with disease. And not only that, we were, the curses was on us. They was told that some of the soldiers were dead on with arrows and would shoot and miss them, because the Most High had a spirit over the enemy, and dead to rights, and still miss them, So, that's pretty much it. I don't want to make this too long because I can really get into it, but I had to get into it because that is our forefather, and a strong man, unstable as water, with a great multitude, and the Most High blessed us with Seminole with many soldiers, many men, so we can continue to flourish, and we're still relevant to today. Call Halal Yom Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and I want to praise, worship, and thank the Wada Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai for giving me this understanding. I like to give double honors to the elders who taught me this truth, and double honors to the up and coming elders who have taught me this truth, the sincerity, with the Spirit, the Holy Spirit through the Rahakwadash. I like to once again the Wada, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, for leading me to my teachers. You understand what I'm saying? All praise and worship and honor and glory to the one true God of Israel, Yahweh, to my brother, his son, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. And that'll be it for the lesson. I love you guys. Kwam Yasharal Arise Israel. And I hope I didn't leave too much out. But, I want to squeeze as much as I can to kind of save some more data on my video so I can do some more lessons. I like to, Thawada to all my, once again, Thawada to all my teachers. And Thawada to all the Akim, my brothers out there, going through this battle, and stay in the spirit, you know what I mean? Because the victory is already won. And remember to love Yahweh like Yahweh loves you. Shalom, Israel.